Okay, so taking a look at our DMR from yesterday, our first question was about graphing. And we did miss some of this yesterday, but that's okay because graphing is our newest skill that we've learned in 3rd grade. So let's take a look at it. Look at the bar graph below. How many runners ran more than 20 miles? Okay, so we're looking for all of the graphs that are greater than 20 miles, okay? So we see that 20 is right here on our scale at the bottom. I'm going to trace the 20 line. And all of the graphs that are more than are going to be on this side of the graphing line. They're going to be bigger, okay? So I see runner E is greater than 20. I see runner D is more than 20. Runner C is exactly 20. Runner B is more than 20. And runner A is also more than 20. So 4 runners ran more than 20 miles. Any questions on that? Alrighty. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next one that we struggled with a bit. This one, remember guys, you can draw a picture. Okay, you can draw a picture. 1/2. It doesn't tell me what kind of picture, so I'm going to choose a circle model. I've got 1/2 here, and it says to how many sixths? So I'm going to draw sixths. There's my thirds. There's my sixths. If I want to make it the same size, that's going to be 3 of these guys. 3/6 is the same as 1/2. We can also know that because we have 6 fingers, and when we put 3 of them together and 3 of them together, we have 3 over here and 3 over here. Okay, 3/6. Questions on that one? Alrighty. Jose, you are in the wrong class, sir. You need to go with your teacher, please. You were only with me for this morning. Alrighty, our next one we did really well. No issues on that one. 80 divided by 4, we knew very quickly that that equaled 20, probably because y'all recognized 8 divided by 4 is 2, and we just add that 0. So good on you. You did great on that one. Next up, look at the fractions below. Which fractions need only one more unit fraction to make it a whole? That means we're going to add a numerator of 1 to the denominator. If I have 2/3 and I add one more third, I have all of them. So 2/3 needs one more denominator. Notice I need 3 answers. I've only got 1. 5/6, there's 5, I need 6. So if I have 5 and I add 1, I've got my whole fraction. So 5/6 needs 1 unit fraction. 3/6, I have 3, I need 6. I would have to add 3 more. That doesn't work. And then 1/2, I have 1, I need 2, so I have to add 1 more, and that would give me all of the halves, okay? We did okay on this in terms of finding the correct answers, but we didn't choose all of the correct answers. Notice this says 3 points, so you needed to have 1, 2, 3 answers, okay? If you only chose 1 or 2 of the answers, you got the question wrong. Questions on that one? All right. Let's take a look at our next one. We had money. We did, yeah, she can buy bananas and 1 apple, but that wasn't the question. The question was how many apples. So if she buys a bunch of bananas, that costs $3. She has $6. So she can buy another apple, and that gives her $4. Another apple is $5. Another apple is $6. So she can buy 3 apples. So our correct answer is the second one. Yes, she can buy the bunch of bananas and up to 3 apples. Okay. Make sure you read all of the options. I think a lot of us got super excited about that first option and then said, yay. You gotta look at them all. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to tell you that we are officially moving on from graphing, and we are going to take a look at telling time. Okay, we're going to switch into telling time. Now, telling time is what you guys were working on last year in second grade, if you were at Indian Creek, when the school closed down. Okay, so you started telling time, you started counting by 5 minutes, and then COVID said, nope, see you later. So we are going to take some time to look at some skills that you should have learned in second grade and get you where you need to be in third grade. Okay? All right. Please go ahead and click on that activities on your Seesaw to refresh your feed. All right. And the activity is called Telling Time Introduction. Go ahead and click on Add Response, please. And you will see on slide 1, you have a success criteria video. This is brand new success criteria for you that you have not yet seen. Here is your goal.
We are going to start learning about telling time using an analog clock. Analog is the word for a clock that has hands and numbers like this. Today we are going to focus on understanding the vocabulary for the parts of a clock, and we're going to tell and write time from a clock. Today we're going to focus on telling time to the nearest 5 minutes, which is a second grade skill. The third grade skill, which we will practice more tomorrow, is telling time to each minute. Today we will be listening for your vocabulary as we talk about parts of a clock and as we tell time and write the time from an analog clock.
All right, so as you heard Ms. Renale say, our goal in third grade is to the minute, not to the 5 minutes. You guys were supposed to come into third grade knowing the 5 minutes, but COVID said nope. So we're going to review that. I understand that some of you might already know that, and that's wonderful. It puts you ahead of the game. But if you don't know that, it's fine. We're going to get you there today, okay? Jalen and Tim, you need to go with your teacher. So Jalen to Miss Sharp. Tim, I don't remember who you're with, but you need to go to your teacher. You were only with me for the 9 a.m. time. Okay. See you guys. Love you. All right. Slide 2 says telling time to the 5 minutes. We're going to watch this to review our skills and the important vocabulary that you will need to know.
People say to me, you're a bear. Why do you need to know how to tell time? And I tell...
Sorry, had something in my throat. Anyways, just because I'm a bear, I still need to know how to tell time. There are numbers on the face of a clock. They stand for hours, but come here, let's talk. It takes 1 hour for the hour hand to move. From hour number 1 to hour number 2. Then from 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. The numbers stand for hours, but wait, there's more. I've got a secret. Okay, you can spread it.
The numbers on the clock also stand for minutes.
You heard me. I can't say it any louder. There are 60 minutes in every hour. Each of these little marks stands for 1 minute. There are 60 altogether. Now do you get it? When the hour hand moves from 1 hour to the next, the minute hand goes all the way around. Yep, the minute hand is faster. Really? You bet, in 5 minutes it moves from 1 number to the next. When it reaches a new number, 5 minutes have gone by. To know the minutes, skip count by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Bet you never thought you'd learn that from a grizzly. Oh, and when we reach the 60th minute, 00 is the way that it's written. Sometimes the hour hand points between 2 numbers, but it's not a choice. The hour is the number, the hand is after. Skip count by 5s to find the minutes faster. Sometimes the hour hand points between two numbers, but it's not a choice. The hour is the number, the hand is after. Skip count by fives to find the minutes faster. Listen, remember my tips and tricks for telling time to the nearest 5 minutes? See the two numbers, the hour hands in between. The number it's after is the hour indeed. Here it's in between the 2 and the 3. It's after the 2, so that's the hour, see? Look at the minute hand. Alright, we skip count by fives to find the time. This is fun, like a bucket of honey. We go 5, 10, 15, 20. Now we see it's 20 minutes past 2. That's 2:20. Time for a bear shampoo. Here the hour's 9. It's not yet 10. Let's skip count to find the minutes again. Let's do it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. It's 9:35. Let's hibernate all night. Sometimes the hour hand points between two numbers, but it's not a choice. The hour is the number, the hand is after. Skip count by fives to find the minutes faster. Sometimes the hour hand points between two numbers, but it's not a choice. The hour is the number, the hand is after. Skip count by fives to find the minutes faster.
Let's tell time to 5 minutes. The hour hand points between two digits. The hour is the number, the hand is after. Skip count by fives to find the minutes faster.
All right, Steve Rogers.
Just got that out of my head from second grade and really sad that you brought it back up.
You're welcome, and I'm going to be singing it to you all the time. All right, parts of a clock, kiddos. Quick reminders. We know that there are 2 hands on a clock. Some clocks have a 3rd hand called the second hand, but we're going to focus on those main 2. Our hour hand is the short hand, okay? I want to point something out to you. This is a way that I always remember this. Hour is a shorter word than minute, so the hand would be shorter. Also, there are only 12 hours on a clock, and that is less or shorter than 60 minutes, okay? So your hour hand is the shorter hand. Hour is a shorter word than minute. 12 is less or shorter than 60, okay? So that is one way to remember the difference. Our minute hand is our longer hand. Minute is a longer word than hour, and it gets a longer hand. Also, there are 60 minutes on a clock, and that is longer than 12, or a greater number than 12, okay? Hour hand, short. Minute hand, long. Christopher, a question.
It's not a question. I just want to say something. When I was in second grade, I looked at the clock and it looks like this one, but without the counting by fives.
Yes, so this does help you out by adding in that counting by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. It does add that in there. You guys will also notice that this is a pattern or trend of multiplying by 5. 1 times 5 equals 5. 2 times 5 equals 10. 3 times 5 equals 15. Oh, are y'all seeing why we teach you multiplication first? Yay. All right. If you would like to review this, or if you forget, there is a short video here from Miss Renelle going over the same information that we talked about together. Slide 4, please. Slide 4 is going to go over the double meaning of hours and numbers. Let's listen up.
When we look at a clock, you see that 12 is at the top, and it goes all the way around the circle from 1, and then it comes back to 12. The numbers on the face of a clock have a double meaning. The large numbers can represent an hour, but we also are talking about the minutes. Remember, when we tell time, we have an hour and minutes. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Each tick mark on the face of the clock is 1 minute. So if you count all of the tick marks starting at 0 and you count all the tick marks, if you count all the minutes, you will find that there are 60 on the face of a clock. Notice that there are 12 hour numbers. The hours are the big numbers that you see on the face, but they can also be a minute. When we count to tell time, you need to look at the hands on a clock to find an hour, and then look at the minute hand to find what minute it is pointing to. We will do some examples together.
All right, so let's take a look at a few of these together. Here is our first one and how we can figure it out.
Let's do an example together, talking about these double meanings of numbers on the face of a clock. We're going to look at the hour hand first to determine the hour. Then we will look at the minute hand. The hour hand is the shorter arrow, the shorter hand on the face of the clock. Here is the hour hand. The hour hand is pointing in between 2 hours and 3 hours. Since it is past the 2 hours, we know it is in the 2 o'clock hour.
Okay, so again, it's in between 2 and 3, but as vocabulary told us, but it's not a choice. You don't get to choose if it's 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. There is one correct answer, and it is going to be the one that the time has already passed. So notice the hour hand has gone past the 2. It has not gone to the 3 yet. Okay, so it is still 2 o'clock. Even if it's close to the 3, it has not touched the 3 yet. So it is still 2 o'clock.
Now we can look at our minute hand. Our minute arrow or minute hand is the longer hand. It will point to the very edge of the clock, which helps us if it's pointing to one of the minute tick marks.
That's why our minute hand is closer or longer to the edge of the clock, because when we start getting down to the minute and we're in these in between, but our hand, excuse me, stopped all the way up here, it'd be kind of hard to tell. But notice our minute hand goes all the way to the edge of the clock, so we can see the exact tick mark that it's pointing to. It's pointing right there.
If you start at the top of the clock, you will start with 0 minutes. We record 0 minutes like this. But I notice the minute hand is not pointing at 0 minutes. When we move around the face of the clock, we count 5 tick marks or 5 minutes, which is why the 1 is equal to 5 minutes. If we count 5 more minutes, we will be at 10 minutes. If we keep counting around the clock by 5s, we will end up where the minute hand is pointing. Let's start at 0 and skip count by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. The minute hand in this example is pointing directly at the 7, which is equal to 35 minutes. If you know your math facts times 5, you will know that 7 groups of 5 is equal to 35. Your multiplication facts with 5 can help you as you look at time on a clock. Our hour hand is pointing past the 2, so we know it's in the 2 o'clock hour. Our minute hand is pointing at 35 minutes. Our time shows 2 o'clock and 35 minutes, or 2:35.
All right, so 2:35 there. Any questions on what we just saw or understanding? Okay, let's take a look at a few of these together. We're going to practice with an online clock. On slide 6, you will notice there is a link. That link will take you to an online clock, okay? When you click on that link, there are questions I want you to focus on. What do you notice? Do you see the hour and minute hand? Okay, what do you notice? Do you see the hour and minute hand? Go ahead and click on that link and it will open you up to a clock. You're going to have to click on I'm okay with that. And then you can move those hands around. Okay, notice what happens as you spin the hands around. Take a few minutes to play around with that clock. Okay, now that you've played around with that clock, let's get some practice reading clocks. Please hop back onto Seesaw for me and go to slide 7. Slide 7 says with your teacher. Again, I'm going to ask for your focus. Hop back onto Seesaw. You will have plenty of time to play around with that clock during your independent work, but I want you with me on Seesaw right now. Thank you, Terrence. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Senkyu. Thank you, Oscar. Hop back to Seesaw. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Aiden G. Thank you, Aiden Hampton. Thank you, Justin. Justin, go ahead and hop to slide 7. Christopher, hop back to Seesaw, please. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let's take a look here. We're going to find our hour first. Hour is the shorter hand. I can see that this hand is shorter. And we're going to trace this out. Look at this point. This is super, super, super tricky, guys. Look. Oh, it hasn't touched the 7 yet. It is not 7 o'clock. Look how close that is to 7, but it's not there. It is still 6. Now I'm going to show you an easier way to know that it's still 6, okay? Let's look at how you can tell. Our minute hand is our longer hand, okay? It goes all the way here. It's at the 11. Let's count by 5s, starting at 12 until we get to the 11. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. We got to 55. It is 6:55. Go ahead and write that down. Now here's a way that you can tell it is still 6 o'clock. 55 is at the end of an hour. We know that a new hour starts at 0. Okay, 6 o'clock would be 6:00. 7 o'clock would be 7:00. 55 is at the end. So it can't have started a new hour at 7 if we're still at the end of 6 o'clock. So that minute hand can give you a clue. These can connect to know that it is at the end of an hour. Okay? Be careful, guys. You got to look very carefully and think about what makes sense. It's not touching that 7, but boy, does it look like it. Okay. Let's take a look at slide 8. On slide 8, we're going to again read the time. I'm going to look at my hour hand. My hour hand goes right here. It is past that 8. So it is in the 8th hour, or the 8 o'clock hour. I'm going to take a look at my minute hand, and I'm going to count by 5s. I'm at 0. Here's 5. Here's 10. Go ahead and write those counting times. 0, 5, 10. It is 8:10. Any questions on this? Okay. Slide 9 says with your teacher, but I want to give you an opportunity to practice. Okay. I want you to take the next 30 seconds and figure out the hour and the minute, and then I will show the correct answer. So take 30 seconds and figure out clock on slide 9. What time is that showing? You solve it. Write it down and we'll check your work. Take another 15 seconds or so. All right, let's determine our hour. This hour hand is in between the 11 and the 12. It has gone past the 11, but it hasn't gotten to the 12 yet. So it is still the 11th hour. How'd you do? Yes? No. How'd you do on the hour? It's only our third clock. Okay. Let's take a look at our minutes. We've got minutes here. We're going to start at 0. Our minutes get all the way to the 8. So I'm going to count by 5s until I get there. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. My minutes are at the 40, so it is 11:40. How'd we do on the minutes? I'm glad 3 of you have thumbs, but I've seen all of your thumbs before, and I know that all of you have them. So show me how you did. All right. Justin, is your ear doing your math for you? Is your ear up or down? Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Justin! Hi, bub. All right, let's take a look at slide 10. This says independent. The rest of these slides are your independent work. Here's what you are going to do. You are going to look at the clock faces. You are going to draw a line to match each clock to the correct time. So let's do the first one together so you understand my expectations for your lines. I can see that my hour hand is between the 5 and the 6. It hasn't touched that 6 yet, so it is still 5. I only have 1 hour that's a 5. Look, it's right here. Oh my gosh, but let's check the minutes. 50. 5, oops, I'm going to switch to blue. There we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Boom. Look at my line. Notice that my line does not look like this. Okay, first of all, that's not a line, that's a squiggle. Notice that it's not going like this. We're going to make this very easy to read and see, okay? Straight lines, straight from the clock, straight to the answer, okay? So for each clock on slides 10 and 11, you're going to draw a line connecting the clock to the time, all right? On slides 12, 13, and 14, you are going to look at the clock and circle the correct time. On slide 15, you have your success criteria. Notice it says use the mic. Leah, do you see it? The mic. Yours is normally blank. Don't turn in blank success criteria. Use the mic to describe your success with today's skill. Here's a sentence stem. I can tell time to the nearest 5 minutes because, finish the sentence. Or, I cannot yet tell time to the nearest 5 minutes because it's only the first day, lady. You're crazy expecting me to do that. Fine, sounds good. Okay, tell me what you can do, what you cannot yet do. Slide 16 has a time-telling game that I'd like for you to spend some time playing after you finish your work. Okay, slides 10 through 14, do your work. Slide 15, success criteria. Slide 16, play that game. That is your task for today.